These 250-year-old artifacts are actually bits and pieces of America's colonial history. They reveal a story of courage and determination, of war and freedom, of pride and respect. They tell us the story of Fort Mose, the first settlement in what is now the United States to be settled by free blacks. This is their story.
I was born a Mandingo in West Africa in the early 1700s. One day, while out in the bush hunting for food with several friends and family members, we were attacked by another African nation and men with white skin. Why they attacked, we don't know, but they were very mean. They bound our necks, hands, and feet in heavy chains. Then they forced us on this large boat. On the boat, there were many other African people, also bound in chains. Our bodies lay so close to each other that I could feel the breath of the others on my face. We lay for many days like this, side by side, on the cold wooden floor, surrounded by a river without shores. After many days, we reached a strange new land that the white people called Carolina. We learned this place was an English colony. Soon after arriving, we were dragged by our chains to an open market, forced to stand on a wooden platform, and then sold to rich landowners as slaves. No longer would we enjoy the freedoms of our homeland or the company of the ones we loved. In the hot South Carolina fields where we worked, we heard rumors about the great land to the south. A land called Spanish Florida, where people who were called Spaniards promised all slaves freedom. Any slave that could escape to Florida would be free. But we also heard that in order to become free men and women, we would have to become Catholic and practice the Spanish religion. But these stories gave us hope, and we decided that one way or another, we would be free men and women. So one very dark night, many of us escaped from the slave plantation in South Carolina and made our way to Spanish Florida. Our search for Spanish Florida was not easy. We had to wade through the swamps filled with alligators and snakes. We had to fight the slave catchers that wanted to bring us back to the plantation. But we did not give up. On our travels, we met friends, Native Americans called Indians. They gave us goods and shelter. Because many Indians were also forced into slavery, many Africans and Indians became friends. With the help of the Native American Indians, we made our way to Spanish Florida, to a town called St. Augustine. But we were not free men and women until we promised to practice the Spanish religion. We made our promises, and then the Spanish government set us free. Many of the African men joined the Spanish militia in St. Augustine, which was set up to defend Florida against the English. We were trained by Spanish soldiers. We wore their uniforms. In 1738, the Spanish governor gave us our own land, which was 2 miles north of St. Augustine. We had our own community and governed ourselves. We built a village and a fort and named it Gracia Real, Santa Teresa de Mose, or Mose for short. The walls of the fort were made of wood and packed earth, and it was surrounded by a small moat. Inside the walls, we built a large multi-purpose building and a tall watchtower. But life was not easy for us. Many nights we would wake up hungry and homesick, missing our family and friends in Africa. Many nights we would cry. We all knew in our hearts that we would never see our African home, families, and friends again. But we were free. We fished the rivers and lakes. We hunted deer, rabbits, and raccoons. We made our own clothes, just like the Spanish wore in St. Augustine. Nothing was wasted. We made bowls, cooking pots, and many other things to cook and eat our food with. We made and used Indian, English, and Spanish pottery, some resembling the kind we made in Africa. We made our own buttons, which we carved from the bones of dead animals. Our houses were made of mud and wood and palm leaves. Since St. Augustine was only a quick canoe ride away, many of us made friends with the Native American Indians and the Spanish people who lived there. One day in 1740, General James Oglethorpe led a large force of white landowners, slave catchers, Indians, and soldiers in an attack on St. Augustine. They wanted to drive the Spanish from the city and capture all the free slaves that had run away to Spanish Florida and bring them back to the plantation. General Oglethorpe attacked us by land. As the English approached, we were forced to leave Fort Mose and escape to the safety of the Spanish Castile in St. Augustine. The English occupied Fort Mose and attacked St. Augustine. For over 25 days, the English bombarded the Castile. After almost a month of being bombarded, we joined together with our Indian friends and 300 Spanish soldiers and recaptured Fort Mose, driving off the invading English army. This helped turn the tide of the war, and General Oglethorpe's forces soon retreated. But the battle had left its scars. Fighting had destroyed Fort Mose, our most precious symbol of freedom. For the next 12 years, many of us worked as craftsmen, living in St. Augustine alongside the Spanish. Our African heritage now freely mixed with the Spanish ways, and our cultures learned many things from each other. In 1752, after 12 long years of patience and hard work, we built a new Fort Mose. The new Fort Mose was a three-sided structure with one side open to the creek. It was much larger than the first fort. It was made mostly of packed earth walls and had a shallow moat filled with cactus and prickly Spanish plants. Our new community had about 22 houses or huts. We built a new church and planted crops. There were between 70 and 90 people living in our new Fort Mose. Once again, we governed our own community. In 1763, Spain and England signed a treaty called the Treaty of Paris. The treaty ended the war known in America as the French and Indian War. The treaty did many things. It made the English give Cuba to Spain. It made Spain give Spanish Florida to the English. All of the people of Florida, including the villagers of Fort Mose, had to leave their homes and sail for the island of Cuba. Once again, we Africans were forced to leave a village that we had loved and sail upon a ship with other African peoples. But this time, the heavy metal chains were not around our necks.
The people of Fort Mose were forced to relocate with the Spanish to Cuba, but their legacy lives on. Their heritage is part of the cultural heritage of all Americans. Their home may have long ago disappeared from sight, but their place in history has been restored. Their contributions to the American way of life can still be recognized today in our architecture, our crafts, our music, and our quest for equality and freedom. These brave and proud people were America's first freedom fighters, and all Americans can be proud of what they stood for.